Namaste, good morning. Namaste, Shimla Didi. Namaste, all the correspondents. Welcome to the morning session.
जी नमस्ते सुनील जी सभी को नमस्ते Gopal ji is not available today also so I'll be facilitating the session. So we officially started on exercise 1 where we are trying to observe the self by the self, and yesterday we were discussing about step 1 to try to observe the imagination, whatever is going on, whatever you can see within you in the form of your desires, which are associated with feelings, in the form of your thoughts, in the form of your expectations. To try to observe this imagination the way it is without trying to change it, without trying to stop it, without trying to judge it or evaluate it, at least in this stage, we will just observe it as it is. So, if we could do this, we also mentioned that it may be helpful to try and sit down at any particular time of day that is convenient for you and when you are unlikely to be disturbed, unlikely to have to rush into some activity. At such a time, maybe for half an hour, you can sit by yourself and try to observe your imagination. Nothing else on the agenda, just observing the way it is. Once we get familiar with this and comfortable with this, then you will find that even during the day, all day, you can be observing yourself while doing other activities. So, especially those of you who have joined this session for the first time, if you could do this exercise, we'd like to hear from you. Or even if you had difficulties or some problems you faced or any doubts regarding this, we can discuss those also. This is a very important step in the exercise because in order to become aware, in order to become conscious of whatever is going on inside, we need to see what is happening. We do have many desires, thoughts, expectations, and if we pay attention, we'll find we are constantly having this going on in us. But we need to become aware of what we are thinking, what we are feeling, what we are desiring. So, let's see if we can discuss this assignment, yesterday's assignment. Some of you had shared yesterday that you sat down, you tried to see in those 10 minutes when we were observing, and you were not able to see anything. That's fine too. We'll stay with the decision to observe. We'll keep trying to see whatever it is. That decision must be there, and we must take the time out to try and do this. As we make this effort, we will find it starts happening. So, are we able to see the goings on within the imagination or not? And if we are, how often during the day were we able to catch a glimpse of whatever is going on inside?
नमस्ते सभी को.
जी नमस्ते.
During the day,
Mhm.
I'm performing different activities.
Mhm.
It is surprisingly I was in imagination attending this morning session 4 or 5 times. Just continuously observing that I am attending morning session. I am
Mm-hmm.
discussing. That was my imagination, and I am just giving my observations. And this is not for one time. I minimum 4 or 5 times I just observed it.
Mm-hmm.
And second observation was my daughter. She's pursuing MD from
Mm-hmm.
Pondicherry.
Mm-hmm.
So her marriage
Mm-hmm.
is the problem for me. So I was thinking that I was imagining that कि मैं उससे बात कर रहा हूँ. I was just trying to talk to her, explaining her, listening her, and trying to solve this problem. And whilst sitting for quite some time, again a different picture was there in my mind. That is just complete imagination. Again, that was about my admission process only, and that could I observe throughout my sitting quiet. Initially, 5 minutes, कुछ भी नहीं आया.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, again, just I went in that particular direction.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Namaste.
Very
Yes.
nice. So, whatever is important for us, we keep thinking about those things. And we
Mm.
won't know what is important for us till we know
Yes.
that we are thinking about it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Nice. Nice. Thank you.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to all. Didi, yes, I also noted, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I've noted in my journal also
Mm-hmm.
that any physical activity, whether eating or any doing a kitchen work or anything, that really never required any of my, it was in the auto mode, and I could go any time to this thinking imagination process. I could observed it that some of the two misunderstood events kept coming into my imagination, that I should be doing that or this, and for uh, for resolving, or or even if I go to market, let that person come in front of me, and randomly uh, it used to come with I could see that it is popping up any time of this imagination, and
Yeah.
I noted that this physical activity never it never wanted my uh, awareness, and it was going on its auto mode. Like if I'm eating, randomly that thought will come. Then I and when I noticed that is, and I could see that expectation is always happiness. Uh, that I noted. Yes, Didi.
Yeah. So, keep at it, keep observing. This is
Yes.
important that we keep observing.
Hmm.
Somewhere in between, you may notice that you observe something and then you feel, oh my God, why am I thinking this?
Yes, it
And
happened.
yeah, and then you might start thinking, no, no, I should not think this. So if you're
Okay.
going into, I should not think this becomes like a reaction
Hmm.
because the whole idea of observation is to allow whatever there is and to just see it happening as it is, whatever is going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for all of us, when we are observing, the first thing is, like we say, no, don't stop it, don't change it, don't judge it, just observe whatever is going on. Because that will open up, one, your practice in observing, and secondly, you will become aware of many such thoughts that you may not have even realized existed within you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, when we are reading something or when we are doing some work, sometimes we may notice that we are reading the same sentence again and again, and it doesn't seem to be, we don't seem to be getting the grasp of it. Does it happen sometimes?
Yes, many times.
Yes. So, what is that? That is because something else is going on in the imagination. And here I am trying to read. So, some people put their finger along the words to focus. So, what is this focus? Actually, our mind drifts into various spaces. Again and again, we drift into some other imagination. Sometimes we drift into the past, something that happened earlier. Sometimes we drift into anxiety for the future, like in the previous sharing, the discussion about wanting
Mm-hmm.
to get the daughter married. So, anxiety about that. So, it's good to see whatever is happening without trying to change it or evaluate it or judge it. So, at this time, that is all we are doing. So, it's nice that you could see, right, that something is going on. And the more we pay attention, the more we'll be able to see that it seems to be going on all the time. Sometimes we are able to see the very gross thoughts and emotions, and the others we are kind of unconscious about still. And that's okay too, because this is the process that we have to follow. The process is to stay with the decision to observe and to keep going. Nice. Very nice, Sangeeta.
Thank you, Dede.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to share their observation? Or if you're having difficulty, to share your difficulties.
Namaste, Didi.
Namaste.
Namaste. Uh, and Didi, as far as the assignment which was given, so I just set for 10-15 minutes
Mm-hmm.
with a special focus on what is going on there in my mind and my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So I observed that that I was just that very self, that very Chaitanya was just moving from one to another thing. No? Just for the first 5-6 minutes, I realized that a zigzag pattern of things is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm thinking about my son who is studying abroad. Then I'm thinking about that, about my college, about my students, about that. Just within 6 minutes, I go back to my father who is not well, then to my sister, then to my maid. She's not well nowadays. And
Mm.
during all these things, there is one single thought. And few days back, I watched a video, and that was about that how when a crow feels sick, and the crows, they go to the ant hill, and the ants, I'm not from science background, that there is a special chemical is released from the body of the ant, and it has a medicinal impact on the that very diseased crow. So the crow sits over there spreading its wings, and the ants, they move on its body, and after that, that crow feels healed. So while thinking about all the things about my family, my friends, my student, my mate, this very thought of that how symbiotically the nature in the crow and that ants, they are beautifully related, and how the ants are healing. It might be problematic for the ants that a crow is sitting over there, over them, and still um, uh, they are treating him, they are healing him. So then I felt that I realized that the things are going on into my mind just like ants. So this is my uh, my decision that what are the good things I can do, that I can get, or I can focus only on those, in that very mode, on those desires, that it will this be work as a healer for um, the disturbance which is going on in my mind when I'm thinking about my papa or my son or my workplace, the problems there over there. So that's why some sort of zigzag pattern was there for those 15 minutes.
Yeah. So you could notice that your attention keeps shifting from one
Yes,
thing to another to another to another.
yes, yes.
Right? Very nice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste, Didi.
Namaste.
Didi, it was happening with me that yesterday I tried to observe myself in whole day. So whatever I was doing, some imagination was going on in my mind. If I was studying, so that words I was studying, I was reading, uh, picturization of that word was going on when I was drinking. So some thoughts related to my family was going on when I was just having medications. Some thoughts about health consciousness was going on. So as Kiran Didi said that within 10 minutes some thoughts were going on from zigzag line. So it was happening with me, Didi. And about the imagination, so it happened with me yesterday that where I just focused on my imagination, that no, I have to observe my imagination. So from that time that I told myself that I have to observe myself, uh, what I was thinking and what I was imagining before, it didn't continue from that thought. Means it was cut, that a type of that what I was thinking when I told myself that I have to observe, I didn't observe myself. I just shifted myself on another thought or on another imagination.
True. It's very interesting. The moment you say, I have to do this, now you have stopped that imagination. You were observing, right? When you observed, something was going on which you had not consciously decided. That's the whole idea about observing. If I consciously decide what I have to think about, then we weren't really observing. Then we have decided something that I have to think about this now. You see the difference? When we are observing whatever is going on, then we are not deciding what to think. We are just deciding that I want to see whatever I'm thinking. Can you see that difference?
Ji, Didi. I am
Yeah.
clearly able to say that difference.
Very nice. Very
And
nice.
Didi, one more question is there, that whatever my priority is, I would imagine according to my priority.
Is that a question or is it an observation?
No, is that a question? Is this question?
Yeah. So if you see, actually, that's why we observe. when you observe, you may find, like for instance, I'll give you an example. Somebody is sick in the house. Okay. Now I'm concerned, my family member, somebody is sick. What becomes my priority if we see? My priority becomes how to help this other person and bring him out of the sickness, isn't it? Yes?
जी दीदी.
Yes. But many a time you will find your thoughts are drifting into what if this happens? What if that happens? What if he has a major issue? Should I, what will I do? Those kind of thoughts may creep in. Now you'll notice that's not my priority, is it? Is it?
Didi, it was happening with me that continuously I was imagining and I was thinking about my career, that what I want to become this, or when I will become, I would have become. So I would do this. I would contribute from this level. I would do this. I would do this to my mother. It was just continuously happening, and suddenly, just my brother's image came in my mind, and I was thinking about my brother. But on the same time, for 1 to 2 minutes, I just thought about my brother, and then again my imagination about my career was coming in my mind. So I was thinking that we just imagine or priority or what we do.
See, whatever comes in our imagination, it is something that is important for us. May or may not be the right priority, but it is important for us. Sometimes you will see that your imagination is drifting into whatever is your fear about something, isn't it? Like for instance, you're going in a car, somebody else, the cab driver is driving. Now you're sitting in the car, you could be enjoying the scenery around, but your thoughts start shifting to, oh my God, he's going too fast, maybe he'll have an accident. And then you start visualizing an accident happening and something else happening, and maybe, getting injured, and all kinds of things may happen. But if you see, that's not your priority, is it? Can you see that?
Ji, Didi, it happens whenever I
Yeah.
look at the AC. So I imagine the global warming and whatever the conditions are coming, the reflections of nature. It happens, Didi.
Yeah. So interestingly, many things we have fears about what will happen in the future. And we many times have regrets about the past. Somebody passed away in the family. Now that person has passed away. Passed away meaning the body has perished. But many a times we keep going back to the past and thinking, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. Maybe if I had done this, it would have been better. And we keep thinking about this. But imagine now, how is it going to help? It doesn't help in any way, isn't it? What we can focus on now is that, okay, if we think some mistake happened earlier, now my understanding is better. Now I will make sure such mistakes don't happen. And at the same time, there are other family members. I can pay attention to them, right? I can pay attention to my relationship with them. I can see my participation with them. That could be the right priority. But I keep drifting back into the past many a time with regrets and so many things. And the funny thing is, a large percentage of the time we are not conscious, we are not aware of all this. But when we become conscious, when we become aware of our imagination, we realize how much it is drifting here and there. So that practice of becoming aware, becoming mindful of what is going on in the imagination, that is the first step to going further for wanting to have this happiness in continuity, right?
Right, Devi.
Nice. So we'll keep the observation going. Very good.
Ji, Didi. Thank you, Didi.
Thank you.
Yeah, madam. As per the assignment, when I am trying to focus on these things, like on the focused 20 or 30 minutes when I am staying idle. So the thoughts which were running is like initially it was little blank actually. So nothing came into my mind actually. Just it was blank for some time, like more than 7 minutes. Then after 7 minutes, the first thing which came in my mind is like one of my family member was not well yesterday. It's like generic fever and other things. So I thought like what could have led why the fever has come, like is it serious issue, something of that kind. Thoughts were running in my mind. Later on, um, it drifted to another topic, like how to achieve my financial freedom, etc. It went in then after some time, then again it drifted to some other topic, like uh, about my son's education, like how he
Yeah.
will sit, etc. These things generally happen. But after like I join my work and as usually, like but during those times some random thoughts, like something related to office politics, about the promotional, even something is mentioned in the policy but something out of the context will happen. So why these things are happening, like people, like people who really work hard will why they are not being recognized properly. So such random thoughts were coming into my mind actually all of a sudden. And some then during the work, sometimes randomly, like about lost relationships, etc. These things came into my mind. Then post that again, I while continuing my work, so I was completely involved in my work, and these thoughts got vanished actually. So this is what I have observed yesterday. But ma'am, just I have one query. So
Yes.
is this thought process is a normal thing, or should we change this thought process and make it make our thought process to guide in the direction in which we want actually?
Yeah. So when we are observing, we are just observing whatever is going on. We are
Yeah.
not trying to change it,
Right.
right? Later on, in the subsequent steps, we will evaluate also, and we will see all that. But in order to get into the practice of observing, becoming competent at that, we need to spend some time just observing, not changing, not doing anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that, like you mentioned, it looks like there are random thoughts.
Right.
And then at other times, it looks like there are no thoughts. But I would say, let's keep it open.
Okay.
Are there no thoughts, or I stopped observing?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So when I'm, like you mentioned, for the first so many minutes, there were, it was blank.
Right.
But then when we saw the clock or the watch and we saw the number of minutes, something is going on, isn't it? Even when I change my posture, is it happening automatically in the body, or did I give some instruction to the body? If I gave some instruction to the body, then there must be some thought behind it, right?
Yeah.
But many a times, these thoughts we don't observe. They are not of that much consequence, I suppose. They are not so important. Plus, we are not observing. So we are not aware of them, right?
Right.
So for now, we'll just keep observing. Whatever it is, we'll observe it. And if you're maintaining a journal, what you observe, the things that you could recall, you can note them down at some time during the day.
Okay.
And you realize that these are issues that are important for you. That's why your thoughts are going in those directions. But then you will also find like you said, sometimes it looks like random thoughts. As we keep observing, we might be able to see there is some connection between one thought and the other thought. And as we keep going, behind every thought, there is some feeling. We're feeling something. It's a little more subtle than the thought, but as we keep observing, we will notice that. So, right now, we'll just keep observing. Yeah?
Ma'am, lastly, one query.
Yeah.
So, when external, I mean to select when these random thoughts are happening, so
Mm.
it automatically affects our mood at that point of time, right? That means we are externally influenced, right?
How
By the
are we
external
externally influenced?
No, I mean to say, like, if some random thought comes, like there is some lost relationship, so then
Mhm.
it is impacting our mood. That means we are influenced by the external factor only, right?
But who is thinking? Who is deciding those thoughts? That we will see,
Okay,
right? Keep it open.
okay,
Because right now we think that externally it influenced us.
right,
But then you can see when you observe, we have a choice of so many thoughts. We choose to have certain thoughts. Or
okay,
is it just happening? Somebody else is putting thoughts in us. So if we start observing, we will notice, like you said, no, should we change the thought? So
right,
obviously, we are the master of the thought, isn't it?
right, right,
Right. So we can choose to think anything, but the whole idea of observation is to find out what exactly we're thinking about,
mm,
isn't it? Then later on, we will see the significance of this also, why it is so important. Because right now, we are not even aware that we have
right.
so many thoughts, isn't it?
Okay. So, ma'am, like basically, the final agenda would be like why, even though we have observed many things around us in the society or in our personal life, why only that particular thought has triggered? So
Exactly.
that is what we are going to derive in the upcoming days.
That is one part of it.
Okay,
And you will see that, different people have different thoughts.
right,
If something is important for me, not necessary it's important for you,
right,
isn't it?
right,
Like the sharing that, you know, my daughter has to get married. Now that is important for that gentleman. It's not important for you, perhaps, at this time.
right,
You know? So, whatever is significant for us, and sometimes there are many assumptions, many things that we believe, and that leads to our thoughts, and we are not aware of our belief also, but it is leading to a certain feeling, and then that is leading to some thoughts, and all that is going on. So, the more and more we uncover all this, we will notice that there are many layers inside that we are not aware of. It's like we think the outside world is so huge, but if you start looking inward, you feel that the inside world is even more huge, isn't it? So, a
right.
little fraction of it, we're just trying to see what is going on in the imagination. And so, the more we practice it, the more aware we become. And then we'll see how we can make it better, right?
Yeah, yeah, fine. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
So, Didi, I was saying this thing that whenever this part comes of observation, I always feel one thing that meaning, is it possible to just take out 10 minutes time and then to observe? Because I think observation keeps going on every time only. Means
Yeah,
whatever
that's
I'm
very good.
doing.
Yeah, that's very good. See, when we are starting something, like
Uh-huh.
now you have been with the program for some time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have been doing this practice.
Yes, Didi. Ji.
Many people have joined these sessions only from this batch.
Hmm.
So this observation may be new for many people.
Ji, ji,
So
ji.
when you start the observation, you notice
Hmm.
that there is nothing else on the agenda.
Hmm.
Just sit and observe. You may be able to eventually see something.
Ji.
Even when we just try to sit down and observe, many of the participants have shared that
Hmm.
initially we don't see anything.
Ji.
But as you keep paying attention inside, you will notice the thoughts are going on, something is going on.
Hmm.
But then when you are busy in the activity, again, many people may say, I was just doing the activity, nothing was going on inside. That's
Hmm.
because our observation is not sharp enough. We are not able to see what is going on. But many a
Ji.
time, the work that we are doing, the book that we are reading, when we are cooking something, when we are talking to someone, when we are teaching something, still something is going on inside.
Ji.
So, like you mentioned, as we become practiced at this, we can see after a point, we can notice even during activities, whatever is going on, we are able to notice. That's the whole point. Otherwise, how would you, if you just sit down for 10 minutes or half an hour, what about the rest of the day? What about the
Correct.
observation of that? So, yeah, eventually we have to observe all the time. But for those
Hmm.
who are just starting out, it helps to sit in one place and try to
Hmm.
do this. Yeah.
Ji, Didi. Didi, one small query is there. Like with me, what happens that maximum times I'm able to stay aware what
Mm-hmm.
desired thoughts and expectations are going on within me. But
Nice.
when very extreme level of condition happens, like that has never happened, that I have never imagined. Okay, like I have been a teacher. So suppose
Mm-hmm.
that any guardian comes and starts to shout. That happens
Mm-hmm.
quite rarely, like once in 2 or 3 years. So that
Mm-hmm.
time I feel that I'm not able to stay aware that how is my behavior taking any design or it is getting designed, from which
Mm-hmm.
thought it is coming, from which emotion is coming. So that time I feel I lose my awareness, and I maybe I speak something, and sometimes it is correct as well, sometimes I speak violently as well. I realize I should have spoken non-violently.
Mm-hmm.
So Didi, for these things that have never happened with us, we have never experienced it, at least with the consciousness. How to deal with such situation if sometime it happens quite rarely, I am again saying.
Yeah.
But like I have not seen people meeting with an accident, you know. It has
Mm-hmm.
never happened in my 34 years of journey. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if it happens, how should I react or like this? So because it will happen first time with me, so real time experience I don't have. In the mind I can imagine many things. In
Yeah.
such conditions, how should we react, because we have no inner experience of it?
Yeah.
Should we see?
So we don't have experience of it in this journey. That is one thing, right?
Ji.
Whatever we can recall of
Mm-hmm.
our life, we don't have recollection of such an event. That is
Ji.
one thing. The other thing is, do I have to rely on experiences to see, what kind of thoughts, or, are my thoughts always going to be influenced by experiences? Because that is something from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we look at accidents or anything that happens, you said how to react. I would say we try to respond, not to react, right?
Ji.
Respond meaning, if an accident happens, what is my participation? What is my role? If that is clear to me, I can deal with the situation much better, isn't it?
Mhm.
But if I am not aware of the inside
Mhm.
and I have some fear, say about, damage to the body or something else, or what about my children, and what if this happens, what if that happens? Now you will notice that you cannot respond to the situation very well.
Mm.
So essentially, what is the significance of this? When I'm observing, and I am aware, then I can observe that, okay, now I'm getting these kind of thoughts. I need to get back to looking at the situation and dealing with the situation. For instance, I'll give you an example. Of course, for the other people, the newcomers, uh, it is important that at this time we only observe. Abhilash ji has attended previous sessions, so we are going forward with other things also. But if I give an example of, we may have noticed many times on the street, there is an accident, two cars collide.
Mhm.
No? And we may notice that there is a big crowd gathered around, and these two people are arguing with each other. Sometimes it even comes to fighting with fists and all. Have you seen sometimes?
Yes, yes, Didi.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Now, if you look at it, what is happening here? Actually, the car might have gotten damaged.
Mm.
And maybe the people, they are fine, both sides, right? Fine in the sense, the body is not damaged. Okay. But this argument is going on in the middle of the street and it has blocked traffic on both sides. Now, nobody else can pass also, isn't it?
Mhm.
Now, this is not something that we would call responding to the situation. So, if I am aware, what I will do, even if I think it is the other person's fault, even if I think my car is damaged and I need to fix it, why can I not ask the other person, let's go to the side and give these people place to pass and then discuss it amiably?
Mhm.
That is possible, isn't it? That is a choice that we have.
Correct.
But we are so unaware that it is as if I got damaged. And I keep thinking the other person is to blame. And so I'm shouting at the other person is shouting at me, and many people are also watching. You might
Mm.
find some people who come forward and say, okay, let it be, it's okay. But many people are just watching the show, isn't it?
Ji.
So you can see how just a small incident and it disrupts the whole harmony of the environment there.
Mm.
uh, just because of lack of awareness. If we are aware, anyway, with fighting, we are not going to resolve anything.
Mm.
Both sides are expecting the other to compromise, but it's not happening. So that doesn't help. What will help is to try to sort it out properly. We can sort it out properly only when we have the right feeling for the other. We can see that it's an honest mistake, not that the
Mm.
other person wanted to collide in us, but
Correct.
it was a mistake that happened. Okay, now how to deal with that mistake? Let's do that, isn't it? So, this awareness of what is going on inside helps me to respond to any situation outside, whichever, whatever it may be. Yeah.
Ji. Means, Didi, I just wanted to say this only that sometimes I am just able to see my behavior and thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Maximum times I'm able to see the conclusions as well, the
Mm-hmm.
preconditioning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Means behavior is there, then thought is there, then feelings are there, then some conclusions I have made, some
Mm-hmm.
preconditionings are there, whether they are from natural acceptance or preconditioning or sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Maximum times I'm able to see all this chain of five things. But
Yeah.
sometimes what happens when the things are quite new for me, as I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm not enlightened for sure, so I directly see the behavior part because right
Yeah.
now I am habitual of seeing this thing that how the person behaved to me.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
I lose my ability or potential to see the innateness in the person. If I
Yes.
see innateness, then if I'm able to see innateness every time, then I would be an enlightened person. Right now I'm practicing this. That
Exactly.
I should not get hampered by the behavior. Even the person is abusing, no problem at all. I have to see the innateness, but I lose that thing, particularly that.
Yeah. So it takes a lot of effort to begin with, but as we become proficient at it, we will slowly start having the right feeling within. And when we are stable in that feeling, then any outside incident will not be able to shake it. It's like a plant that is, when the plant is firmly rooted in the soil, then no amount of breeze that comes can uproot it. But if the plant is not firmly rooted in the soil, a little bit of breeze and it kind of falls down. So essentially, what is happening is our stability inside is not good enough. That's why any outside situation is able to change it. So it's not about the new experience, rather, it is about continuing to have stability inward. So that means observing and seeing my natural acceptance and having the feeling according to that. So that now, whatever may happen outside, if I'm stable inside, then that doesn't shake me. So rather than to focus on, because experiences may keep happening from outside, that you don't have control over totally. But this is something you have control over. So our focus should be on the stability inside. And that is possible to begin with. We need to observe what is happening. And then we need to see our natural acceptance and be in line. So that part, of course, it takes a lot of practice. Initially, lot of effort. It's 6:20. Maybe for 5 minutes, we can observe our imagination right now and see whatever is going on. And then we'll come back to discussing whatever our observations are. So for 5 minutes, let us observe the imagination. Just observe, don't try to change it, don't try to stop it, don't try to judge it, don't label it good or bad, just observe. Okay, we have been observing for about 5 minutes. If we would like to share our observations, we can discuss them, or if we were having trouble seeing something or having difficulty in the process, that also can be discussed. Is there anybody here who, was not able to see anything at all? We can put in the chat. For these 5 minutes that we didn't see anything at all. Those who have joined the sessions for the first time, it may take some time. But those who have been here from before, is there anybody who is not able to see anything at all when they look inside their imagination? You can mention it in the chat, and then we can discuss it. Maybe I should ask, are we able to see something, anything? You can put yes or no. Okay. Anilji is saying nothing. No thought, just thought. Ask self, what is my imagination? Okay. And you will notice that what I am getting in the chat is that people who are there from previous batches and some from these batches, they are able to see something. 5 minutes may be too small a time to see anything, especially for those who have joined recently. But that is why we say, spend like 20 minutes to half an hour by yourself, sitting in one place with nothing else on the agenda. Put away your mobile, put away your books or anything else, and just try to observe whatever is going on. Initially, you might feel nothing is going on, but sooner or later, you will notice something is going on. And that observation, once we are able to see this, then we are not identified with the imagination. When we are identified with the imagination, we don't see it as something separate. Like, for example, if you're sitting by a stream and the water is flowing, this flowing water is like your thoughts, your imagination. Now, if you're drifting with it, you don't see yourself as separate. But if you're sitting by the side of the stream and you notice this water flowing, that's what we want to do. Is not to be totally identified with the imagination, but to be seeing from a slight distance. And that will come with the decision to observe because we are observing from a higher point. But if we are flowing with the imagination, it will seem like nothing is there, nothing is going on. So, there is Buddha Rajuji has mentioned in the chat, I was observing my breathing, trying to regulate it and trying to stay calm. This is not really observing because you have decided your focus of attention and you have decided that you will pay attention to your breath. Rather, what we are saying is don't decide your focus of attention at all. Just observe. And then really things will come up. It's like how when you dream, you don't decide what you are going to dream, but then dreams come up randomly. So, similarly, now we have to observe whatever imagination is going on. Not that we have to decide the point of what I am going to think. So, I hope that it's able to clarify this. More discussion can happen tomorrow. And if you like, it can happen in the Hindi session also. Now time is up, so we'll have to stop here. Sunil ji.
Ji Didi, thank you so much, Amla Didi, for this enriching session today.